I did play for him, and he treated me like an absolute veteran in the clubhouse as a spring training guy. I didn't see gray pants in my locker unless I was starting the game. Aaron Boone, the lowest WAR of anybody in his family. The Yankees manager. Bring him in. There he is.
What's up, Booney?
Do I have to turn my hat around to? Is that kind of the thing here?
Not with your palo, and not with those hats. You're going to get a sunburn on your forehead. Those hats were not made by bald people, by the way. Bald people, look, it's terrible. The see-through spring training hats, out.
Out on them?
Out on them. I'm glad I quit before they came out with them.
Yeah. I don't mind.
How you doing?
Little change up. I'm doing well. How are you guys? How's the show going? You having fun?
The show's been. What do you think, AJ? Tell
It's
him.
been good. It's been good. We're going to have you on every week. So thank you. Thank you for agreeing to that before the show. Really You're a podcast guy now, I heard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Wade going new age. So, yeah, I'm jumping in.
You're so progressive.
No, I mean, Booney, hey, look, we're all coming from all kinds of different places where we do, TV jobs separately too. And like, we're doing this every day because we think that people want to watch what we're doing on YouTube, TikTok, social platforms, getting to a younger audience, podcast. Hey, mixing a curse word here or there, no big deal. You can't do that on television. But I'll say, I don't even say it, Booney. Most of the players, when they come on, and they're not saying anything inappropriate or calling someone out, though. But for example, be like, yeah, I don't give a shit about that. And they like to be able to just be themselves. That's real clubhouse talk.
I try to hold my cursing for the umpires.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, Booney, you're our trendsetter. With the sleeveless cutoff sweatshirt. I think you have one on right now, right? Like,
I do.
Podcast. Now you have the sleeveless sweatshirt that you cut off. I mean, you're like the Gen Z millennial manager for everyone out there.
You know what? Hey, the sleeveless thing. Yeah, a lot of dudes are doing it now, and I like to think I got it going a little bit.
Yeah, you're the Bill Belichick of baseball.
I
don't know. Boone, what's going on, man? It's Frage. How's everything, man?
Hello, Frage. How are you?
Good, man. So my question to you is, how many times are you going to get thrown out this year with all these new rules coming up, brother?
Yeah. Man, I was messing around with getting thrown out yesterday, and someone said, "Do you ever get thrown out in a spring training game?" I'm like, absolutely not. Can't let that happen. I'm trying to go under my norm, so we'll see. But the first time they ring somebody up when the pitch clock expires, that might get me going, especially if I feel like it wasn't justified. But I'm going for the under. Whatever that over/under out there is set at, I'm going for the under. So far, that hasn't worked out for me, though.
Tell him, AJ. Give him advice.
Yeah, I've got thrown out of a spring training game, Booney. Come on, as a manager, that should be easy. As a player, it was a little bit more difficult. But come on, it's manager. Just go out there and tell Angel Hernandez he's not doing his job. And enjoy an early bus ride home.
Yeah, he's not on this coast, so I only have a few others to get after. But I try and keep it low key with my arguments in spring training.
I like it. Did you see what happened? Obviously, I'm assuming you saw what happened with Edwin Diaz last night.
I did. Yeah.
As a manager, how do you feel about your guys playing in this? I mean, it's been awesome for baseball. It's been awesome to watch the fans. So, I mean, I know it's kind of a double-edged sword for you as a manager, right, with your guys in the event?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're always a little apprehensive, especially with some pitchers, especially if some pitchers have had some injury history. That's, I think, where you get a little bit nervous. But look, I mean, the Edwin situation is not a baseball playing injury. I mean, that's a fluke. Life got you. That could happen, working out in the off season. That could happen, in spring training doing something. So that's not a case of a guy being ramped up and blowing out down the road because he was throwing playoff caliber baseball maybe before he should have. This is one of those unfortunate accidents, and should not be attributed to WBC at all. But I think from my standpoint, organizationally, the only thing you worry about is the pitchers being in playoff atmosphere. playoff pitches when they're not used to doing that and maybe not even quite ready to do that. And if they've had an injury history in the past, that's where we get a little nervous.
So do you encourage your players to play basketball at all in the offseason?
I
Especially
tell
after
them
big home runs?
if they ask me, I tell them to steer clear of that. I tell them to steer clear of basketball. Although, we even have somebody that's within our organization that's part of under the medical umbrella that a few years back was having a conversation with me. He goes, I actually wish we had a basketball court on site because he thinks there's a health benefit to guys, certainly doing other athletic things throughout the season, whether it be basketball, because it puts you in a better position to handle different stretches throughout the year, athletically speaking. So I was like, I tend to agree with you. Didn't work out so well for me, but overall, I agree with you.
But that wasn't your first basketball game, so I hear what you're saying. Like, go out and be who you are, and you know what? If that's God's plan for you, you know what? You had the knee injury happen.
Yeah, I mean the way I looked at that is, I wasn't doing anything irresponsible in my eyes. I was getting a workout in on a Friday night where we had nothing going on, and I just wanted to get some cardio in and shoot some hoops, and life got you. And now it's part of my story, and that's okay.
Hey, Boone, so wanted to ask you about your big decision on Garrett Cole to be your opening day starter. Really bold move. How much time did it take for you guys to all sit down? Was it like, the war room where you're drafting picks and you're like, all right, what do we do here?
Yeah, actually, I haven't even had that conversation with him. Been like, we've just kind of been laying out the calendar for the last few weeks, and we talk about it. We're kind of lining everyone up, and so when the media asked yesterday, they're like, "So is Cole?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah," but I didn't really know I needed to announce that one. So yeah, Garrett will be going opening day again for us. He looks awesome this spring. He's in such a good place. He's throwing the ball really well, hitting all his markers. He's up to 70 pitches his last time out. So he's got 2 more before that opening day start. But excited where he's at right now, and I think he's going to have a really big year, boys. Buckle up. I think Garrett Cole's going to do some great things this season.
Yeah, speaking of other players on the team, I'm looking at the younger guys, Volpe and Dominguez. Man, they look like they're having a really good spring. When can we see those guys coming up? Because I know Yankee fans out there are chomping at the bit to see these guys. You got Isaiah Falefa moving the outfield. You're moving guys around. I mean, I love everything about that. Just because learning new positions, I think, is vital. Me coming up, I did that all through my career until I found it. But these younger guys and Falefa, man, what do you got going on with these guys coming up?
Yeah, so Volpe's very much in the running, to be on the team on opening day. So we got 2 more weeks to go here. Those conversations will start to happen in earnest. He's played awesome. He's come in with obviously one of the big stories of this camp and gone out and delivered and performed and kind of looked like everything we expect and get excited about him being. So he's very much in the running. Dominguez he's come such a long way in a year. This time last year, he was coming off a 21 season where, he had his struggles, wasn't great. And then last year, the whole way, he started in low A, went to high A, and then finished for the playoffs in double A and performed really well as he kept going. And as the year unfolded and as competition got better, he got better and better. He's come into spring training and I think he's got 4 homers now. But he's looking like a player that's going to be a real impact player for us. I don't know when. I wouldn't expect it at the start of the season. But he's showing us why we're so excited about him this spring. But those are 2 guys that we think are going to be central figures for us for a long, long time.
Hey,
and then
Aaron,
Isaiah.
Oh yeah.
Kiner. Yeah. So Kiner's playing center field tomorrow night. He's played some third, second for us down here. He's embracing the role, and I think it's cut out for him. He's such a good athlete. I think he's going to go out and be able to play the outfield really well. And because of his versatility then in the infield, I think between him and Oswaldo Cabrera, who we saw come up last year and be able to play the outfield, he's an excellent infielder. We feel like in those two guys, we're going to have guys that are versatile, and in today's game where you have benches with 4 position players, to have true versatility and flexibility is huge. And I think Kiner potentially is going to provide that along with Oswaldo. And then DJ in the infield that can play the 3 different positions where I just bounce them between those 3.
Hey, so I'm going to tell you this. If Isaiah gets in a little slump here this year, you play that song Hawaiian Superman. I used to do it in Texas and put a smile on his face, and he'll start taking off. That's my little quick
Hawaiian
tip there for
Superman. I'm taking notes on that one. Hawaiian
you. Yes,
Superman.
sir.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's a great dude. He wants it. He wants it here. He just wants to win, and he wants to win in pinstripes. So, I'm excited where he's at and what I think he could bring to our team this year.
Aaron, I know you've probably been asked a million times about the rules and stuff like that. Here's one that was added in the past year. It's more of like a bonus incentive that's very relevant to our conversation right now. So we're talking about Volpe. It sounded like he's going to make the club out of spring training. Huge bonus, in addition to him playing for the ball club, is that he's an awesome player. If he has a great year, the team gets basically a first-round pick. We saw it play out last year for the first time, and it was huge. And part of that was to make sure that the best players are getting called up from the jump, the famous Chris Bryant story. But in my mind, that partially worked last year. Like we saw Julio Rodriguez right from the jump make the team. We saw that with Bobby Witt, even for guys that didn't finish in the top 3. But we saw that actually play out and turn into a pick for a team. So do you like it? And do you think the front office is pumped about a rule like that too when you have a rookie like this?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, anything that rewards players for excellence and then I can say since I've been here and I know moving forward and I know whatever decision we make as far as our opening day roster, that kind of stuff doesn't factor in. We we're going to do what's best for us and for the player. That all factors into the equation. But us wanting to wait because it serves some kind of purpose. Just is not in the equation. So I think it's great anytime you can reward players, anytime the best players are where they should be. I think that's a great thing for our game.
So Boone, here's the thing. What I've learned from this interview is IKF is going to be your utility guy. Volpe is making the team. So we're breaking news here.
I didn't say that. I said he's very much in the running.
Manager talk. We got it. And then third thing is John Schneider, when we had him on, Blue Jays manager, he showed us his whole organizational depth chart. I don't know, we kind of called him out on it. So, and then we sent him a pair of Jordans. So can you do that for us with the Yankees? Can you open the doors behind you? Because behind it is all the organizational, the depth charts, the pitching rotation, and then maybe we'll send you a pair of Jordans.
All I got for you right now as we dwindle down here in spring training is a little, I got my big calendar there. So, that's all I got for you here.
Hey, and you know how the Yankee fans are. If Volpe doesn't make the team after the spring he had, you're going to be number one on their – someone in the Yankees organization is going to be number one on their we're going to get this guy list because they're clamoring.
Hey, you know what? We got a fan base that really cares. And, sometimes that comes with, a lot of excitement. Sometimes it comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of, upset when things don't go according to plan. But that's all part of it. And it's why I think most of us love putting this uniform on because it really, really does matter each and every day.
Booney, last year Aaron Judge, home run record, dominated, had such an unbelievable year that it's going to go down in history books for sure. Now he's the captain. He's got the big C on his chest. That's a lot of responsibility for sure. I got to know him a little bit playing with him, but what makes him tick, man? I mean, I wish I got to play more years with him. And what do you expect from him coming this year?
Yeah, he's the best, man. There were so many times last year where, we'd be, celebrating a win, maybe doing our belt ceremony and I stand right next to him when we do that. And I felt like all year, every now and then, I say, I got to stop taking you for granted. Like there'd be certain games where I'd be like, hey, you get him tomorrow, and he was 1 for 3, 2 walks, stolen base, double, ribby. And I'm like, you'll get him tomorrow. Made a great play in the field. So he's such a great player. What's great for me is, and I hate using the word low maintenance, because that's not, who cares if you're, he's just so easy to deal with when he's your star player, your best player. He drives culture, he drives the room. He's gotten better and better since I've been here, every single year, at growing into more and more of a leadership role. And I think now that he knows he's going to be here for the rest of his career and the next 9 years, and he's entrenched here in the organization, I think he's taken on more responsibility and even more of a leadership role. It just kind of continues to grow. But as long as he's able to stay healthy, I expect him to go out there and have another dominant season.
I think you are probably, and I'm probably going to get a lot of yelling in my ear for this, the most underrated manager in the league. Because you look at your record through the time that you've been there, it is elite. And yet, 0 awards. And I know you're going to give the whole, I don't like awards, I don't really need them, all that stuff.
Tell me.
I know what your answer is going to be. You're not even going to let us say Volpe's making a team or anything like that. But, explain that, because, look, you got to push these guys. And I've seen what it takes in that clubhouse, that specific clubhouse, the way you run it with these teams, and you just keep winning year in and year out.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you saying that. Look, I feel like, how good or underrated or overrated, whatever, I don't know all that, and that's not for me to decide. I feel like we run a good ship here. I feel like we know what we're doing. I feel like I've grown a little bit each and every year, and we feel like we have a really good team, and I feel like I know how to lead that team, and so I have confidence in my ability, and I appreciate you saying that. But I think in this role, you can't really get caught up in, whether you're underrated or overrated. You just kind of keep the blinders on and keep moving forward.
All right, less blinders. We're both Eagles fans, okay? It was a good year. You know that. You know it was a good year. I could care less. We're not talking about football right now. What was your favorite Rihanna song from the Super Bowl? Because you were out there and you just said Rihanna. I think you hands clapping, or I don't know what you said.
I did. That's like one of my only tweets over the last several.
You're so active. You're so active on social media.
This is embarrassing, but I'm sure she played Umbrella, right?
You didn't watch it?
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing, and I was just like, boom. So I don't know what stands out as my favorite. I just loved the whole thing. I thought it was great.
So give us a few lines from Umbrella. Just give us a few.
Under my umbrella, hey, 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 hey.
I even like that. You danced too.
Booney, so you were a broadcaster, broadcaster.
Yep.
Which one's less stressful, broadcasting or managing? Getting ready for Sunday Night Baseball, or trying to figure out, when you're going to tell us that Anthony Volpe's made the team, besides that you already did?
I would say this job manager is a little more stressful. But that said, I love it, and you love being in the stress and the pressure and all of that. It's one of the reasons I'm sure all of you guys there love playing the game and playing at the highest level on the biggest stage. It's like, you know what? Yeah, it's hard, it's stressful, there's pressure, but that's also something that motivates you and drives you, and you clamor for. You kind of look forward to it. That said, there's always some nerves too. Every time I was getting ready for a broadcast or a Baseball Tonight show or something like that, there was always nerves for that too. But I think there's moments in this job that are a little more stressful.
Fair, very fair.
No, managers are like presidents. Like, they're all young. Like Aaron Boone, when he took over the Yankees job, he was he was all young and vibrant. Now he takes off his hat, gray hair. You know, it's like Alex Cora lost all his hair, right? Like these guys are like presidents.
You're stressing him out because he's got a game too.
I know.
Game, and you got a game coming, right?
Yeah, we got a night game then. Yeah.
Oh, it's a night game. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Oh, what time's the game? 7?
6 and a hook.
6 and yeah. So for spring training night games, fan or not a fan? Because I mean, these are the players here, but they'll be like, yo, I get used to waking up at 5 a.m. and then all of a sudden the season starts and I barely play during the day.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it in chunks, in like small. I think we have like 5 or 6. That's about the right number. You know, it gives you a chance. Yesterday, you have a day game, you know, nice dinner you can sleep in for, which you never do in spring training. So it's a nice little break it up a little bit. We had one a couple days ago, and then we have one tonight. I think this is our last. Yeah, it's our last night game of the spring. But I like them in small bits. A few of them is perfect. I think it's a nice little change of pace for spring training.
Hey, I want to finish with this change of pace. There are rumors swirling around that were recited on this show that Eric Kratz was brought in for a pregame playoff speech at one point.
Believe it.
And why? And did he sing? And was it better than what you just did?
He was, you know, he's everything you guys see on this. Yes, he sang. He spoke from the heart, from a guy that had been in the game forever. You know, he talks about having pinstripes in his locker. Well, he had pinstripes in his locker because he had that level of respect, and anyone that I felt like had as much potential gray hair or balder than me, I feel like, you know, deserves to not have to go on the road a lot in spring training. But that season, he played an integral role, like late in the year. Like he helped develop and get some of our young players that we were leaning on to the big leagues and playing a role. Every time he did play down the stretch, he seemed to play well and contribute. But I think he had the respect of digging himself. He had the respect of the room, from the Aaron Judges and the star players in the room all the way to the rookies. He just developed a relationship, and he gave a very impactful speech that actually did not work, though. We lost.
Typical. That's typical.
But I thought it was going to work.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, I thought the song was going to be it. I thought the boys were. I mean, by the end of the song, the boys were clapping and everything. Yeah. But
we were laughing, crying. He kind of tugged at every little bit of emotion in a pre-series speech, and you got to love that.
Now you know what we deal with every single day with him on this show. Right. This is a Monday through Friday, so we've got Kratzy bringing out all the emotions every day.
Yep.
Booney, this was great. Thank you so much.
Good luck with everything, guys. It's good to catch up with you all. I'll see you down the road, all right?
Yes, sounds good. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.